In this video, we'll discuss how to purchase your first investment property. So how to get started looking for your first investment property. Well, things have changed over the last couple of decades where you used to contact a real estate agent and they would flip through cards and look for potential properties that were for sale that someone had came and marketed with them. Now, because of the internet, now you're able to go right online and access some of the premier sites that feature homes for sale. So here are some definite websites that you can definitely check into to find different properties for your investment. Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Craigslist, Homes.com, and Movoto. Great sites to work with. The next thing that'll help you in looking for good properties is having a relationship with a good agent with experience that specializes in the type of investment property that you're looking for. So if single family homes is where you like to start, you would want to find an agent that's experienced in looking for single family homes that are investment properties. Reason being that these agents have exclusive relationships with other investors who are trying to sell their home. Same if you're looking for commercial property, same if you're looking for multifamily. Finding an agent that has experience will do a few things. They already are familiar with the area. They're already familiar with other investors that not only you could purchase properties from, but when it's time for you to sell your property, they could quickly go ahead and sell that property for you because of those relationships. The next thing is start by finding a target area that you're familiar with and learn the comps of that area. Very important, and we're about to talk about that. Understanding comparables. When I was talking about target area, this goes to our first adage that you've probably heard in the real estate industry, and that's location, location, location. Of course, location of your target property is very important. You want to find out, well, are there schools that are close by so I can market to families? Are there shopping areas close by? Is there an airport or a railroad that may be close by that may hinder maybe some noise complaints? Is there access to a highway that's close? So these are some of the things that you want to be familiar with. You also want to know, is this a good part of town, a semi-good part of town, or a great part of town? The next you want to pay attention to is demographics. Demographics talks about the people that you're going to be marketing your property to, whether there's going to be families or single people, or maybe they might be students. So looking at the demographics of your area is very important in understanding that. Perhaps you have a new company like Google or Amazon that's moving to your area. So a lot of people that with families and without families may be very interested in that particular location. Or maybe you're in a college town, so you may be looking at student housing as a investment property because you understand that your demographics are mainly students that's moving in and out of the state. The next area is comparables. What are comparables? Or in the industry, we call them short for comps. So comps are basically a record of whatever property that is close to your target property in size and details that have sold within the last 12 months in your area, typically within a 1 mile radius of the target property. So basically, if you're looking at a single family home that's in downtown Milwaukee in a certain zip code, to find the comps on how much you should sell that home for, you're going to look in a mile radius in all directions and see within the last 12 months which homes have recently sold, especially if this is a two bedroom, 2 bath, or let's say a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. You want to find another 3 bedroom, 2 bath with about the same square footage and about the same amenities that is offered in your target property. By comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges, you're able to get a great understanding of what your home can be sold for. So here are the steps to secure your first investment property once you find something that you like. The first thing is putting in a letter of intent. A letter of intent is basically a one-page letter, and you can find this typically on your state's RIA, Real Estate Investor Association website, or you could get this from a real estate agent's website. And basically, it's a general letter that tells the seller that you have an intentions of wanting to purchase the property. Inside of the letter of intent, it's going to offer the price that you're offering for the property, what sort of earnest money you're putting down, and any specifications that you're looking for regarding that property. Plus, you're going to give them an idea of how soon you want to close on that property and what are your finance options. Number two, you're going to put down earnest money. Typically, in most deals, you will put down some sort of earnest money, but there are times when you can negotiate earnest money out of a deal. Earnest money is basically what helps to seal the deal. It definitely shows the seller that you have serious intentions of wanting to purchase this particular property. And so earnest money can vary. It could be a percentage of the sale amount of the house, typically 1 to 2%, or it could be a flat amount. Typically, earnest money may be $500 down, $1,000. It could be more depending on the size and shape of the property. The next thing, after you've secured the property, you want to conduct due diligence. And sometimes you'll go ahead and outline this in your letter of intent. Due diligence is where you start looking at the fine details to see if you wish to truly purchase this real estate deal. In the due diligence process, this is where you're going to inspect the property, you're going to do an appraisal of the property possibly, and of course you look at your comps and everything just to make sure that you like the property and this is exactly what you want. Most of the times you'll have a clause inside of your letter of intent or in your purchase contract that will say that if you find anything that's not worthy in the due diligence, that you could go ahead and cancel out of the deal and get your earnest money back. Typically, how earnest money is applied is once you decide to purchase the property, you could have it where earnest money is returned at time of closing, or earnest money most likely will be applied to the purchase price of that investment property. So if you wish to have a long career in real estate investing, here's a key that I'd suggest that you have, and that's to have a good real estate team in place. Here are the people that are the key players on your team that you're going to develop over time, which will help you in purchasing great deals and be able to sell deals over the length of your career. Number one, a bird dog or a real estate agent or broker. A bird dog is merely someone who is a locator. They locate properties for you so that you can purchase them. Now, here, I typically say that you should start off, at least for your first year or two, looking for properties for yourself. Reason being is you get to understand your market target area intimately because you're out there looking at deals, you're looking at the comps, you know exactly what you like to invest in. And so typically bird dogs start off here where they work for people just to go ahead and get paid at time of closing. So that's something that you can negotiate with a bird dog. And typically that may be a percentage of the purchase price, or it may just be a flat fee to use a bird dog. The second, like we discussed earlier, is having a good real estate agent or broker that specializes in investment properties. They're great to have on your team. The next piece will be a title search company. A title search company inspects the title of a property to make sure that it's free and clear and ready to be bought by you, to make sure that there's no hindrances on the title that will impede you from purchasing the property. Next is a closing attorney. Having a good closing attorney is really important because a closing attorney will make sure that all the funds needed to close the deal are in place. It'll make sure that all the legal jargon and all the expectations in your contracts are fulfilled and that you can close that deal in a timely fashion. A contractor. If you decide to buy a home where you have some fixing up to do, having a great contractor on your team with experience is something that you need to have. Next will be an appraiser. This is a person that's going to come out and appraise the potential value of your investment property. Now, when you're getting bank financing or getting any sort of loan financing, a lot of times they will recommend an appraiser to come out and take a look at the property. But you have the choice of having your own appraiser having to come out and take a look. And that's good when you want to get a good amount on your particular deal. They will fairly and legally go ahead and look and inspect the property themselves to give a fair market value. And then having a property manager and or a maintenance person for your properties is also good to have on the team. So if you decide that you want to buy and hold a property and you wish to go ahead and rent it out, having a property manager in place is a great tool and a great person to have on your team. Typically, the rate for a property manager can range anywhere from 5% to 10%, depending on your location, your area, in the state or region that you're located in. It'll be a percentage of the monthly lease rate that is collected for that property. And then, of course, having a maintenance person, if you decide that you want to manage the property yourself, at least having a good maintenance person to take care of electrical issues, plumbing issues, or any issues that's beyond your scope is great to have on your team. This concludes our video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for our next class.